Bitcoin, Dogecoin, NFTs. I mean, you see these words everywhere. They're promising to be the future of money, but how do they actually work? Well, in the next few minutes, we are going to pull back that curtain on cryptocurrency and make sense of it all. Let's dive in. Okay, so here's our game plan. To really get crypto, we have to start at the beginning, with how money has evolved. Then we'll nail down what cryptocurrency actually is. After that, we'll get into the magic that makes it all secure, the blockchain. Then we'll weigh the good against the bad. And finally, we'll explore the weirder side of things, like NFTs.
So before we can even talk about digital money, we got to ask a much bigger question. What even is money, Its form has changed so dramatically over the centuries, shifting from something you could literally hold in your hand to something you can't even see. And that evolution is the key to understanding everything that's happening right now. I mean, just look at how our idea of money has gotten more and more abstract. We started with bartering, right? Literally, your horse for my cat. Then we moved to precious metals, something that everyone just sort of agreed had value. From there, we got paper money, which is really just a promise of value backed by a government. And today, most of our money is already digital. It's just numbers on a bank's private spreadsheet. So when you look at it this way, cryptocurrency isn't some crazy leap into the unknown. It's kind of the next logical step in this long journey towards pure digital value.
So what makes this next step so different from what we have now? Well, at its heart, it's a totally radical new take on a tool we all understand, the spreadsheet.
Okay, think about it like this. Right now, when you buy a coffee, your bank just subtracts that cost from its own private spreadsheet. The coffee shop's bank adds it to their spreadsheet. These records are totally separate, controlled by these big institutions. It's a whole system of private, walled-off gardens.
Cryptocurrency completely flips this idea on its head. Imagine, instead of all those private spreadsheets, there was just one, single, public one, for everyone. A massive ledger of every transaction ever made, and here's the crazy part. Everyone on the network has their very own identical copy of it.
And that giant, shared spreadsheet, that's what we call a ledger. The fact that it's distributed, copied and spread across thousands, even millions of computers all over the world, that's what gives it its real power. There's no single person or company in charge. And this new setup unlocks some seriously powerful possibilities. Because it's totally digital and decentralized, you don't need a bank acting as the middleman anymore. This could open the door to a truly global financial system, letting anyone with an internet connection jump in and making international payments almost instant, without all those crazy fees we're used to.
But wait a minute, this raises a huge question, right? If there are no banks and everyone has a copy of the ledger, what stops me from just adding a line that says, "Give me $1 million"? The answer to that is in the crypto part of cryptocurrency. The security comes from this amazing technology called the blockchain.
Think of the blockchain as the individual pages in that giant public ledger. Each new page, or a block, has a list of recent transactions, but it also has two other super important things. First, a unique digital fingerprint called a hash, and second, it has the hash of the block that came before it. This is what creates the chain, linking each block securely to the last one. And before any new block can be added, it's blasted out to the whole network, where all these computers work to make sure it's legit. Only then does it get added to the chain forever.
And this is where the security becomes almost unbreakable. Because each block is cryptographically sealed to the one before it, you can't just change one without breaking the whole chain. If a hacker tried to alter a single transaction in an old block, it would change that block's hash. That would set off a ripple effect, breaking the link for every single block that came after it. To make that fraud stick, you wouldn't just have to fix the entire chain. You'd have to do it on hundreds of thousands of computers all at the same time. It's basically a digital fortress.
So, okay, the tech is incredibly secure. It's revolutionary. But that doesn't mean it's perfect, not by a long shot. Let's try to separate the hype from the reality and look at both the promise and the peril.
On the one hand, the promise is huge, a global financial system that's open to everyone. But on the other hand, the risks are very real. The prices are insanely volatile. They can swing wildly based on a single tweet. You still can't really buy your groceries with it. And then there's the environmental cost. The process of verifying all these transactions, called mining, uses a shocking amount of energy. And of course, it's always had this reputation as a tool for criminals. But about that criminal reputation, it might not actually hold up to the data. People think crypto is anonymous, but since the ledger is public, transactions can often be traced. And when you actually look at the numbers, it tells a really surprising story. This analysis found that while, yeah, a tiny fraction of crypto is used for illicit stuff, that percentage is way, way higher for untraceable physical cash.
Now, this technology isn't just about being a new form of currency. It has unlocked this really strange, fascinating, and very new digital frontier.
You have definitely heard the term NFT, non-fungible token. But what on earth is it, really? Okay, so a dollar bill is fungible. You can trade my dollar for your dollar, and they're exactly the same. An NFT is non-fungible, which just means it's one of a kind. It's a way to use the blockchain to prove that you own a unique digital thing. It doesn't stop anyone from right-clicking and saving a copy of the image, but the ledger publicly proves that you own the original. It's like everyone else has a poster, but you have the signed original painting. And the value people are putting on those digital bragging rights? It can be absolutely mind-boggling. A digital collage by an artist named Beeple sold at auction for $69 million, all for a certificate on the blockchain that points to a single JPEG file.
And if you thought NFTs were strange, well then there's Dogecoin. This is a cryptocurrency that was literally created as a joke, based on a dog meme. But because people thought it was hilarious and started buying it, its value just exploded. And in the process, it actually made some of its earliest investors millionaires. It just goes to show you how speculative, how unpredictable, and sometimes how completely bizarre this new world can be.
So here we are, full circle. We went from trading physical horses to trading digital tokens based on a meme. And it leaves us at this fascinating crossroads, staring down one massive question. Is all of this the next logical step in how we think about value? Or is it a massive speculative bubble built on nothing but hype and just waiting to pop? Honestly, right now, nobody knows for sure.